to look at these triggers as the universe showing you your shadow. Let's work on this, it's saying. Let's work on this together. Here's a situation to piss you off. You know what I mean? And it did. Here's the situation. Let's work on this. Let's dig into that shadow and learn how to make it part of you that you can work with in a healthy way. Hey guys, I am Angela Jean and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about something a little bit personal. I actually kind of create my content on what the universe dishes to me daily, and I've had a new revelation come to light. And the blessing about this is that the universe revealed it to me because it knows that I know how to transmute anger to transcend to the next level. And so today I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. And so that anytime you deal with a situation like this and you don't know how or what to do with your anger, you are going to use it, because awakening to anger and making anger your ally will make you so effing powerful. All right, so let's get on with how you exactly go about doing this. You guys, anger is energy, and you can use it for two things. You can use it to burn the house down, or you can use anger to reach goals, to create motivation through frustration. And I am going to tell you today how to transmute your anger, how to begin to open your throat chakra, and how to use anger as your ally, how to awaken to anger. Okay, you guys, so anger is energy. It's a burst of energy. It's like an orgasm. It's something that explodes. And that's why if you don't learn to transmute it and dissipate it in a healthy way, you're going to burn the house down. So quick backstory. I went through a devastating heartbreak this year with the love of my life. And I have a social circle of friends that I hang out with that were all very, 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 very aware of the details of this situation. I just found out that one of those girls is in a relationship with my ex. And obviously it infuriates me that I sat here face to face with this person and she did not have enough integrity to address the situation with me. And what these situations do too, they show you guys your shadows, you guys. They show you the places that you still need to work on. Because I know that that's my one thing. Like, there's a fire-breathing dragon inside of me sleeping. But I gotta tell you, man, she wakes up every now and then. And that situation was like, okay, universe, I see that shadow. Okay, let's do the work, let's do the work. So anyways, today's video was inspired by that. And I wanna share with you guys how I have transmuted and dissipated this energy over time. So here's the thing, if you were raised in any type of dysfunctional household, you most likely have a blocked throat chakra, especially if you were in a physically violent household, if you were in any type of household that has alcoholism. You just kind of tiptoe around on eggshells because you don't want to rock the boat because you're already living in a fragile environment. So as time goes on, you don't really learn how to communicate properly and you suppress a lot of your emotions. Me personally, I lived in a very physically violent household. Not my parents. My parents were always married to physically violent people on both sides, which is so odd. So I learned how to communicate with fists. That's how I learned to communicate. I never learned how to communicate with my words. I never saw anyone solve a problem. I would see them fight, beat the crap out of each other, and then it would just stop. But it was super, super scary and there was no resolution ever. So when I was a teenager and I was going into school, I would get into fistfights. I was the girl in school that was always in fistfights. And when I tell people this, they're like, you? And I'm like, yeah, believe it or not. So obviously, as the school years went on and I got into my 20s, I started working on myself and I found yoga and I found meditation and I found breath work. What yoga and meditation taught me to do was to breathe through my anger. Pranayama breathing will save you. However, it didn't really transmute it for me. So I found I was no longer violent. I was no longer aggressive, but I was suppressing it. And what this does is cause a form of passive aggressive communication. And I know that was one of the problems in my relationship I was just in. So I know that this situation was presented to me to show me my shadow. You have to look at these triggers as the universe showing you your shadow. Let's work on this, it's saying. Let's work on this together. Here's a situation to piss you off. You know what I mean? And it did. Here's the situation. Let's work on this. Let's dig into that shadow and learn how to make it part of you that you can work with in a healthy way. I truly look at the shadow as the same as my inner child. I always try to pretend like it's someone outside of me. When I'm doing my inner child work, I pretend like I'm talking to a child. When I'm doing my shadow work, I pretend like I'm talking to my twin, my angry twin that's sitting next to me and trying to have a conversation and trying to figure out how we're going to work together. Let's make this work together. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, is what I did over time and what I do now and what I clearly still need to work on, because the universe would not have revealed this scenario to me. Okay, so let's get started. So today's video is obviously a little bit longer than usual. So what I did in my 20s, I was so blessed to be in a really, really healthy relationship for 5 years. And my partner knew that I had a problem communicating when I was feeling upset or jealous or whatever, just normal things you feel in a relationship. So what I started doing with him, which is funny, you guys, but he was so patient, is that anytime I got upset, I would have to write him a note, like legit write him a note. And depending upon where we were, I would leave it on his car, or I would give it to him and then have to leave. I would have to immediately leave because I just wasn't even comfortable with him reading it in front of me and then having the conversation. This is how I began to slowly learn how to communicate what I was feeling into words. And it was really rough at first. My notes were God, you would think a 5-year-old wrote it, but it didn't matter. These are the baby steps that I took. And he was really good at communicating. So he would read my note and then obviously send me a text. And I would not be able to talk to him on the phone until we went back and forth a few times through text. And he was such a pivotal part in teaching me how to communicate and open my throat chakra. So now I'm going to tell you what I do now in life to combine the breath work with what I call scripting and journaling now, which is something that we are all very, very familiar with. Okay, you guys, so there's 2 forms of breath work that I do. The first one I go straight to is breath of fire, because it is such a fast pump that it helps you dissipate the energy. And then the second is pranayama breathing, which will bring you back to balance. And I'm gonna put a video here. I'm not gonna put it in this video. Click that video. It'll show you how to do the breath work. And then the next thing I do is I do scripting. And I write out the biggest mother FU letter I can. Yep. You have to express yourself, you guys. You cannot suppress it. But the thing is, because anger is energy, you don't want to give it away. You do not want to give your power over to somebody when you're in these situations. You have to harness it and keep it selfishly for yourself. Use it as motivation to reach your goals, okay? So write that letter. Read it, perform it like you are trying to get an Academy Award. And what you will notice, you guys, is you'll go back and you'll revise it the next day. That's what I want you to do. It'll change, and it'll continue to change. And I know with the power of attraction, you're not supposed to spend much time on things, especially when it comes to depression or jealousy. That's different to me because that brings you down. That's a downward spiral of energy. I truly feel that anger is like a kundalini. I feel like it's an energy that's rising you up like fire. So I feel that you should use it and transmute it. So what you're going to do is you're going to write this mother FU letter to either person, whoever it is, whatever it is. Go back, change it. Go back, change it. Perform it all you need. I promise you that as you rewrite it, it'll dissipate, and it'll dissipate. It will lose its momentum. But in this time, while you are expressing yourself, the fact that you kept all that energy for yourself and you didn't give it to someone, you will feel empowered. It's hard to explain until you really experience it, but every time you don't give your power away to other people and you keep that energy for yourself, you are telling the universe that I passed this test and I am ready to excel to the next level. What will happen, you guys, is over time, that gap will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And what I mean by the gap is that charge of anger that you feel and that need to express yourself will eventually disappear. If I can even show you where I started and where I am now, it has been a beautiful evolution of self. So we are constantly being tested. We are constantly being triggered. I know, in the moment when that burst of anger happens, it's hard to realize you're being triggered and the universe is showing you your shadow. But eventually, When you really get open to spiritual guidance and you're constantly asking the universe to evolve you to the next level, it will answer you. So you have to learn how to see these things as tests, as trials. The universe knows you can handle it. It knows you're ready. So it's going to hand it to you. So how you learn to transmute it and deal with it is up to you. And hopefully this video is helpful. Obviously, I'm still working on myself. My gap's a little smaller to be very raw and real with you guys. This was a 3-day process this time. It took me 3 days to process everything, and I have circled completely back to a place of love. I wish them the best, and that is the beauty of being a spiritual gangster. You will always circle back to love. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below with my little technique that I've come up with over time. And don't be afraid to write notes to begin to open your throat chakra. Getting it out of your mind and onto paper puts it into the physical world. So it's a baby step that can help you, and eventually you will learn how to communicate, okay? All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. See you later. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you have not subscribed to my channel, click the circle next to me. And as far as that breathwork video goes, check that out right there. That's a goodie, and that will help you on the journey of awakening to your anger and making anger your ally.